Tuesday the 18th. This is a full body. So this structure is a little bit different. Instead of doing rounds and running through each exercise like in a list, we're doing this for reps. So 50 to 100 reps of each. Now you don't have to do, say you pick 50, you don't have to do 50, 50, 50, and 50. If there's something that is, a little bit easier for you, you might want to up it to 80 or whatever. So it's not that you don't have to do the same for each one, but you do have to pick a number of reps for each one. And then you complete that exercise in full for that number of reps before moving on. So if you choose 60, you're going to do 60 shoulder press before moving on to 60 bird dog, before moving on to 60 front rack, before moving on to 60 cross climbers, okay? So you do have to finish it fully before you move on. And of course, you're gonna end up taking breaks. You're not expected to do it all the way through, okay? And if you do, then you probably need to do more. So, shoulder press. Bird dog. So this one you have sides, okay? Front rack squat. That just means you're holding the weight here. And cross climbers. So this one, you can do it on the ground. I actually like doing it off of the height because I really like to drive my leg up as high as I can, but you're diagonal crossing over. If you want to do a high plank, it's like this, okay? All right, shoulder press. So I don't remember if we talked about shoulder press before. Oh, we did alternating, okay. So the first time we did it, we did one at a time. Now we're just doing a regular shoulder press, which is both at the same time, okay? So just press them up above your head. Remember I said make sure you're actually going overhead. You don't want to come here. You don't want to be bowed out like this. If you find that you're swaying, which sometimes I do, if you're doing that, squeeze your butt. Squeeze your butt, okay? It's gonna help tuck your hips forward. So if you notice, or say you're doing them and you feel like your lower back is bothering you, you're probably swaying your hips backward instead of having them more forward, okay? So just press up above head. Pretty simple, okay? Also, I should mention, when you get a little bit tired or the weight is feeling heavy, you can push press, which means that you're just gonna bend a little bit at the knee and drive up. Bend, drive up. Bend, drive up, okay? So that is called a push press, whereas if you're standing and your legs don't move at all, this is called a strict press, okay? So usually, if you're doing something like we are, you're going to push press at some point because strict pressing is very difficult. So usually with strict presses, you do very little reps, okay? So normally when you're doing higher reps of shoulder press, you're gonna end up probably push pressing at some point just because it's a lot of reps. Bird dog. All right, this one is almost like opposite dead bug, if you've been with me before. So you are on hands and knees, and what you're doing is you are tucking opposite arm and opposite knee, or I should say like maybe elbow, together in the center, and then you're releasing them so they both go out. Tuck, release. Tuck, release, okay? Tuck, release. Tuck, release. Try to show you from every angle. Tuck, so I kind of like push my elbow down, tuck, bring my knee in, and then release. Tuck, release, tuck, release, okay? So that's what your bird dog is. It's kind of like, especially I feel like on the carpet, I have a hard time finding my balance. So if you are like really struggling with that one, you could switch it to dead bug if you want, which like I said is almost the opposite. you're here and you release, opposite arm, opposite leg, tuck, opposite arm, opposite leg, tuck, opposite arm, leg, tuck, opposite, tuck. So when you're doing it this way, if you do the dead bug, you just want to make sure that at no point are your hands or your feet touching the ground. So dead bug, opposite arm, opposite knee, tucking in the middle and shooting out. If you can't balance that one, try dead bug. And front rack squats. Oh, and that one you do per side. So you want to make sure that you do, say you pick 50, you're doing 50 this way, and then 50 that way. Front rack squat. So this is our squat, except we are holding the weight in front of our body. So kind of like when we talked about hammer curl, bicep curl. Hammer curl, you were holding it this way. Bicep curl, you switched it this way. Anytime you change like a little variation of an exercise, it hits a different area of the muscle. The same thing with the sumo, narrow squat, regular squat. Doing those different things, even though they're all squats, shifts the focus to a different part of the muscle or a different muscle, something like that. So the same thing happens whether you're doing a bodyweight squat. If you were to use a barbell and you would have the weight back here, like a back squat, then there would be a front squat. So there's different things. Or the goblet squat is kind of in the center. So it's just a different variation. So you hold the weight in front of you. I always rest them like this on my shoulder. They're slightly kind of pointed upward because you do want your elbows to kind of be up. You don't want them to be down like this. You want your elbows to be up. So that's what my weights look like. Squat, okay? This is just your front rack squat. So again, you want your elbows kind of to be up. You don't want to go down like this. Your back is up, your elbows are up, just bending at the knee, okay? If you need to sit, see that? There we go. Same thing. Okay? And if you cannot use weight, or maybe you did like a leg day before this one and you're really sore, just do body weight. And cross climbers. So as I mentioned, I kind of like to do this one off of the chair because I feel like I engage my abs more than when I'm in high plank position. But I'll show you both and then you can choose. So in high plank position, it's almost like a slowed down mountain climber. But I'll show you off the chair first. So you'd be high plank position, and then what you're doing is you're just bringing your knee diagonal across to like your opposite armpit, like this. Okay, diagonal across, diagonal, diagonal. So you're kind of like almost kneeing up toward your armpit, diagonal. So like I said, I feel like I almost have a little bit more power in this stance, and I feel like I drive my knee up higher than the alternative, which is high plank position. But it's the same idea. Diagonal across, diagonal across, diagonal across, diagonal across. So this one, I feel like is a little bit more of probably a twist and probably more lower ab because you're already low. This version, you can go higher with your legs, so you're probably reaching a little bit higher on your core as far as what you're working. So it doesn't matter. They're both good. Like I said, I just like to do this one because I feel like I do it better. Like I get more out of it when I do it that way. You might find maybe you're somebody who can't lift your legs very high. You might prefer the other one. So it doesn't matter. You can try them and see what you like. But again, you're gonna run through each one fully. It could be 50 shoulder press, 50 bird dog, 60 front rack squats, 80 climbers. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the same number across the board, but you have to complete them fully before moving on to the next one.